There is this popular saying, politics is a game of interest. It is that season again for a test of loyalty, leadership, and loud intentions. Are you ready to hear what is really going on behind the scenes? Good day, viewers, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Hardboard Broadcast, where we give you an in-depth analysis from the world of politics, entertainment, culture, business, and education. And on today's edition, we're diving into the world of politics, where we discuss student politics on campus. And my name is Lazarus Joshua, and I will be your uncle. With the team, pre-election, assessments, and intentions. And with me here is our guest, in person of Comrade Israel Olabode Tope, who is also the Vice President, National Association of Mathematical Students Society, Kaduna State University Chapter. Good to have you from me.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry to be here.
So to begin with, Comrade, as the student community gears up for the student union election, looking back, how would you assess the current administration performance? How what areas have they been able to do well, and what areas have they fallen?
Okay, thank you so much for the platform, and I'm happy to be here again. Okay, let's start with this. Knowing fully that leadership is not that easy task. It's not easy to be a leader and to control people. So I would first like to say, I would like to recommend or commend everyone in the leadership position, that's the NAMSS-KASU, the NAMSS-KASU, and the Department of Mathematical Department, right, Science. All the leaders, they are really trying, and they have make great efforts in be able to bring in what they really want to achieve, the goal they have set to achieve. And I can say that the leadership position presently on ground have done amazing work. For instance, the NAMSS-KASU and the SRC this semester or during their term were able to work together. I saw unity. I saw ability for them to come together to pursue the student interests. And I think for the past few years I've been in Kaduna State University, this was lacking. And then this one thing I will commend them for. And then for another thing again I saw that was very interesting was the fact that they also bring up some certain, collaborate with some certain organizations which involve tech ops, and then which was fascinating. I really love that part. And they really showed the students that the scope of academics is not just in reading and answering questions or passing exams. There were more to them and more they could know. And that was interesting. I was fascinated by that. So I have to recommend them. Okay, now talking about their the thing that I noticed, knowing fully that in every governance, we are all building a foundation, right? And or we are creating a system. And whenever we are on seat on the governance, one thing that we must do very well was that we must build the foundation there, so that the next generation coming up will be able to work with that foundation, right? So the gaps I see is this. I felt they could do more. Yeah, they could do more. Another part is I felt there was a little disunity in between participants in the leadership. So imagine having disunity between participants in leadership. That means that they will not be able to achieve the 100% goal. They will be putting their energy in trying to settle issues within themselves, rather than settle issues that involve the student interest. So this also took a lot of their time and energy in where they are supposed to put energy. So I feel that this should be worked upon, and in the next coming set, these are things that they should do better. They should ensure that they work in unity and a lot more. I think I should stop there.
Okay, but if you are going to compare the current administration and the previous administration, what is the gap?
Okay, well, in comparing the last administration and the current one thing I can say is that all of them did a remarkable job, right? They did amazing job. The last administration, one of the things that I love so much was that each of the individual people or leaders pursued the student interests. They were not even minding the effect on themselves. I saw set of leaders who were so interested in doing all they can do. Imagine, I think that was the time of doing the time of Acidic. During the time of Acidic, I saw his ability to go all out for the students. Write letter. In fact, many of them, I can say that some some of the people in the position or in the leadership position were not happy with it, even in the upper hand, were not happy with some of the certain decision you make. But in this decision were just starting for student interest, which I love. Okay, comparing with the recent one, like I said, the difference between the recent and now is that the last, when there was no unity between the epic leaders. Okay. So this affected their ability to give all out. Because you see, when there's unity, and I'm an advocate of unity, when there's unity, there's more delivery. Right? There's more delivery when we come together. When we put up head together. Your strength, my strength, we give it together. So there was no unity. So if there was unity, I would have given them 100%.
Right. So they lacked unity.
Yeah, they lack unity. So, but in this recent, there was unity, I can see. And in the last, one of the things I noticed in the last was that they were not really controlled by external bodies. Yes. Allow me to say that these people, even though they were external bodies that want to control some of their actions, they fought out that no, this is what we want. We are not just doing this for our personal interest, we're doing it for the students coming up, which they represent, right? And which was beautiful. And I can see in this recent, one thing I can see is that they are easily influenced by some certain external bodies.
Like?
I would not like to disclose that, but I can see, based on my observation and what I've seen, right, I felt they are not really giving all their out. They are still having a little fear, yes, in some certain aspects, which do not make them to give a lot. But I know they can do better, right? And like I said, I've commended their work. They did amazing job, like bringing unity between themselves, which is beautiful. Like I say, the current and the present, they really did fantastic job. So I cannot really give a number, but I can say they did fantastic job.
Okay, that is very good. Let's forge ahead.
Okay.
With all the decamping and shifting of alliances happening, do you think it's building a political system, a better political system, or just a game as usual?
Okay. That's a very, very wonderful question. Talking about the political system in general, the school system, and the world at large. One thing that we should know is that there's always change of loyalty. There's always shifts in idea and principle. So sometimes the place we find ourselves may not really go with the principle we desire. Or maybe we cannot really give our loyalty to some certain organization, whereas we feel like they are eating out some certain ideas we really want to bring out for the people's interest. So it is not really wrong for you to shift only on the condition that we understand your drive for shift.
Okay, but we've always seen in the within the political system that the moment you say a politician, shifting alliances, there is a particular interest, which is most times personal interest. Okay,
I think before you give that word by saying most time, you must be able to have a statistical data that give you that is true.
Because what they always move after is for them to win election. At the moment they see that particular party or that particular group in which they are, there's no chances of them winning election in that place. They move.
Okay. Now speaking of that, it's true that exists, but it's best we don't use the word most.
Okay.
Yes, the reason why we should not use the word most is because if you use the word most, it means that you are saying people who change alliances or shifts loyalty, are all driving to the same reason. No. Like I mentioned, we should be able to test their reasons. If you can test the reason of why people shift alliance, for instance, I think during the last shift of the last previous 2 years administration when I was present, and I was actually have interest at a particular people, and then I was willing to push for them, even though I was not contesting. I was just a student, and then one of the time I just had a conversation with the one who was contesting, and I asked him a question, just 2 questions, and I would like to disclose the question. So when I asked him 2 questions, and then the answer he gave me was not satisfactory enough for me. Yes, and based on the fact that when the answer he gave, I felt it was a good guy. Like I mentioned, that he was a good friend of mine. But the interest he was pursuing it was not going with my ideology and my principle.
But there are people that also have that ideology is pursuing is the same thing with theirs.
That right, like coming in.
I said that they will have the same ideology that we are saying his ideology is not aligning with yours.
Yes.
And there are other people that will see his own ideology is aligning.
Beautiful.
with yours.
Now, like I mentioned, right, his ideology was not aligned with mine, right? And the principles were not set with mine. Really? Do you get? And then the interest for him, for me, from what it defined as interest, was not really for the students in a way. So I felt, okay, for my best interests, at the, like, it was almost the time for what is it called, to vote. At the last time, I had to just change my interest to the other person because I felt more, I had more trust for him when I had conversation with the both of them. Okay. Do you understand? So now you cannot just say that because the reason why I shift my alliances was because I saw that the other party will win. No, do you see? I was not even contesting.
Now,
yeah,
I'm not talking about the voters.
Okay,
I'm talking about the contestants.
Yes.
The contestants are always after winning the election.
Why I say you should not use that word most, like I mentioned, is you do not just, let's not use the word most. Let's say some, right? That some of those contestants actually change their what is it called, their alliances or their loyalty because of they see that this party they are into actually has no chance of winning, so they push to the other. But one thing that we should just, like I earlier said, is that let's test their reason for changing alliances. Okay. If you can understand why they change their alliances, that can be able to make us to know truly if they are going, it is maybe it's usual business stuff or not, right? So like you said, you can't say politics, right? That like the question you asked is really doing that really means that politics it makes politics a business stuff, like they're just running the same cycle again all over again. No, I can say that changing of alliances also support and build political system, okay, as much as you also have effects in a way, only on the condition that you'll be able to test the reason why they shift alliances.
Okay, your own view. And your own, let's move further, comrade. Last year.
Okay.
Before we round up the show, are you planning to run for any political position?
Yes.
Okay, so considering the fact that you are planning to run for political office, the student division, that is the student affairs division, brought out a circular stating that elections should be conducted between that is to be precise from 6th to 12th of next month. Today makes it exactly 3 weeks before that election takes place. Will you see it as a way? Does it actually give you room and other individuals to actually mobilize, looking at the time frame that is short?
Okay. First, like the question you asked, am I willing to contest? Okay. Yes, like I said, I had interest, but mine is not really for the title. I am an individual who is very interested more in impact. And when I say impact, meaning that either with the title or not with the title. But I'm open for the contesting. But majorly on the question you asked, the circular that was released that the election should host 6th to 12th of October, knowing fully that that 6th to 12th October fall on the date of Students' Week. First, mobilization. I can say it's enough for mobilization. Yes, because if you know what you are doing, you could. It's enough. You do not need, even though they give you a year as a contestant, to mobilize people. I know for sure that people know who they want. Okay. They know who they would like to vote for. So it doesn't matter how much of this you are giving. They will vote for who they want to vote for. Right? Okay. So I feel numbers of these actually are all times really actually also affect voting and then mobilization. But in a way, I think the 3 weeks is enough. But my issue is that it falls on the day of Students' Week, meaning that there will be a shift of mind, okay, between because we are having students. Just imagine having to call students to come and vote, and then still having them to participate in Students' Week. Yeah, we know that Students' Week is majorly for the final year students, which is the 400 level student. But we also are very well assured that students in the 300 level, 200 level will love to participate, right? We love to know what is happening on that day, right? So trying to mobilize students to focus on voting will be a little difficult. It may also not give us enough room. So this is one of the things I think will affect our mobilization on that day. So I felt that the visibility of these dates might not be really so visible, or it may really affect us who are willing to contest, because our contestant our voters or people, our followers who would love to vote us will be distracted.
So are you trying to say that you wished for the student division to postpone that?
Yes, we will really appreciate that. Only on the condition, because I know so much that the student division, the dean of student division, everything they push out is for the student interest. Yes, whatever you see that they put out is for the interest the students, and they are doing great work. I commend them for that. So I think they should look into this, and if it's either the students will be shifted, or they should give us more dates, or shift the date for the voting, right, for the election, and then let the students week hold. So I think one of the, and I believe so much that whatever decision they make, it's for our good.
So far, Comrade, are you seeing yourself winning the elections?
Okay, like I mentioned, right, that my goal is to make impact. My goal have been not for title. I believe so much that you must not be a leader when you are given a title. You are a leader as a person. It depends on your vision. And over the years, I've had a personal vision to make contribution to my world. And by the help of God and by the grace of God, I've been able to do that, and I'm still doing that. So
since you are still doing that, why looking for the political office?
Good. Why am I looking for the position of political office? It's simply because I believe so much that with so much leadership skills I've been able to acquire, and so much things I've developed personally, I would love to use that to improve the school system. I would love to contribute my little ideas to the system in finances, in ideology, and so on. What have helped me to be different and to be unique as an individual, I would like to introduce many of my mates and students to it. So that's why I'm so much interested in the political position. Like the other question you asked, am I seeing myself winning? Like I mentioned, either winning or not. The goal is to contribute, and I know so much that if I'm part of it or I'm not, I will still make the impact either in the political system office or out of the political office.
Okay, thank you very much for having you, Comrade, for this your insightful discussion, for this insightful answer you've given us, and we hope to see you some other time when we call on you. Thank you very much. To our viewers, as the drums of election beats louder, remember it is not just about who wins, but what brings positive change. Do well to follow us on all our social media handles at Hardball Media. Goodbye for now.